There are some items for the wardrobe that you're always better off buying new, but then there's others where buying new is a complete waste of money, and those are the items that I'm going to be talking about today. And after watching this video, I hope you'll be able to get some better fitting and better quality pieces for your wardrobe going forward, and save yourself some money in the long run. If you like this video at any point, please do leave it a like, and now that's all out the way, let's get into the video. So the first item you should never buy new is Levi's jeans. Now there's so many benefits to buying vintage pairs of Levi's over new pairs of Levi's, and the first is to do with the fit. In the mid-2000s, Levi's lowered their back pockets on their jeans to give them a more modern look, but the lower pockets, in my opinion, look so unflattering. They make it look like you've got a saggy bottom. When your back pockets are higher up on your bum, it looks so much more flattering. Just look at the difference. This reason alone would stop me buying a new pair of 501s, because who wants their bum to look awful? Not me. And not only do the older pairs have a better shape to them, but the quality is far superior, so they're going to last you a lot longer too. Most thrift stores have plenty of vintage Levi's, so it's just a case of going through them and finding a pair that work well for you. And once you find a decent vintage pair, you'll never want to buy new again. So the next item you should never buy new is a leather jacket. Now I don't currently own a leather jacket, but if I was to get one, I'd 100% go vintage. Good quality leather jackets cost a small fortune when new, so unless you've got hundreds or even thousands to spend, save yourself some money and shop secondhand. And leather jackets haven't changed much over the years, so a lot of the newer models are based off old jackets, so it makes perfect sense to go vintage. And also a vintage leather jacket will already be broken in, the leather will be soft, so it'll be a lot more comfortable, and it will have some character to it too. Next up, we've got military style clothing. Military surplus items are known for being durable, and you can get them for an absolute bargain. Even well-worn pieces still have plenty of life left in them, and I don't know about you, but I expect these kinds of pieces to look a little bit worn, so when they're brand new, they actually look a little bit strange to me. And a lot of brands these days even give their new military style clothing fake distressing to make it look more worn. And not only that, but they'll probably charge you about 3 or 4 times the amount. So save yourself some money and go vintage. Next up, we've got Carhartt jackets. Now I know you see these jackets absolutely everywhere, but I'm not sick of seeing them yet. In my opinion, they're a timeless piece that will always look good no matter what the trends are doing, so there's never a bad time to pick one of these up. And like a lot of other things on this list, the fit is not only better on the older models, but the quality is better too. And just like the military surplus stuff, these jackets are built to last, and I do think they look better with wear, so even a well-worn jacket will last you a lifetime. As the vintage models in this jacket are still very popular at the moment, they are quite pricey online, so my advice would be to pop down to your local thrift store because they normally stock plenty of these. And if you want more information on the differences between the older jackets and the newer jackets, then the Iron Snail did a great video on that, which I'll leave linked below. And his channel is great, by the way, so if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. Next up, we've got graphic tees. Now, unless there's a very specific graphic tee that you want to buy that's new, just buy these vintage. Graphic tees are one of the most stocked items in any thrift store, so you're always spoilt for choice. And not only are these t-shirts going to be a lot more affordable, but I always think vintage graphic tees look a lot cooler as well. And I don't know about you, but I don't really like it when I'm walking down the street in a graphic t-shirt and I see several people wearing the exact same t-shirt as me. Graphic tees stand out a lot, so I do prefer one that's more unique to me. The only thing I will say is check for stains. A lot of the t-shirts have yellow pit stains on them, and I don't really like the look of that. You might, so if you do, then who am I to stop you? But I thought I'd mention it. So next up, we've got flannel shirts. I'm very fussy when it comes to flannels. To be honest, I'm fussy about a lot of things, but especially flannels. So sometimes I do have to buy new when one ticks all the boxes for me. Like with this John Elliott shirt, for example. The cut is very specific, and to find a similar vintage shirt in the same color as this is going to be near impossible. So in this case, I would have to go new. But if you're not as fussy as me and you're just looking for a regular, good quality flannel, then I'd highly recommend going vintage. Brands like Pendleton or Woolrich are known for their quality when it comes to flannels, and there's often quite a lot of them at thrift stores, so keep an eye open for those. But a check flannel shirt is a timeless item, so even a shirt from, say, 30 years ago is not going to look out of place today. Next up, we've got coach jackets and worker jackets. Now, both these jackets you can find well stocked in any thrift store, so definitely don't buy these new. Brands like Ralph Lauren sell both of these styles of jackets jackets for hundreds of pounds, and even though they look great, you can get something very similar for about £20 from a thrift. And also, Ralph Lauren are designing theirs to look vintage anyway, so save yourself some cash and get the real deal. And in my opinion with Coach jackets, you should never spend over say £30 or £40 on one, because the quality doesn't get any better as the price goes up. Most Coach jackets look and feel exactly the same whether you spent hundreds of pounds on one or you spent £20 on one at your local thrift store. So save yourself some money. The next item you should never buy new, unless it's absolutely delicious and you can't resist, is a Varsity jacket, especially the louder jackets or the Letterman jackets. Because these jackets are often so loud and so noticeable in an outfit, if you buy one from a well-known brand, you're likely to notice the same jacket on loads of other people. If you go vintage, you're much more likely to get one that's more unique to you, and I always think it's nicer to have something more personal. And also, most of the Varsity jackets that I like cost over £1,000, and there's no way I'm spending that kind of money on a Varsity jacket. The only downside for me is I'm very picky when it comes to Varsity jackets, so I haven't found the right one yet vintage, but I'm willing to wait to save myself over £1,000. So we've got belts next. Now I don't mind spending a bit more on a nice looking belt these days, but a lot of people don't like spending a lot on them. And I get it, for a lot of people you don't really see your belt that much in an outfit, so why spend a lot of money on a belt when you could buy something more exciting that's on show? And this used to be my thinking about 4 or 5 years ago, and I'd always buy cheap belts, and it would always be a mistake. Even though they were cheap, they would always break on me, so I would always have to replace them, costing me more money in the long run. So if you don't like spending a lot of money on a belt, don't do what I did and buy new cheap. Buy vintage. If you go for something vintage that's been around for a while and it's still in good condition, then it's already proved that it's built to last. And it's going to be far superior to any new cheap belt that you can get today for about the same price. And not only that, but a lot of vintage belts have got a lot more character, they look a lot cooler, so they're going to bring a lot more to an outfit. So it's a no-brainer really. The next item you should never buy new is underwear. I'm only joking, you should never buy underwear used. That's grim. And on that note, I'm going to end this one here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave it a like. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Okay, I'm stopping. I just need to sign off. I better go, guys. See you later.